today on a special edition of The Social. It's a Tessa and Scott takeover.
They are Canada's sweethearts.
Tessa kicks off the show in our fifth chair, sharing her perspective on glamming it up for the game. Is it fair to restrict makeup in sports? Plus, then Scott joins the panel to give his take on pushy parents. Is it okay to have specific career aspirations for your kids? Plus, the duo show off their go-to workout moves and share how they're paying tribute to our country with the Thank You Canada Tour. Later, another ice skating icon joins the fun. Three-time world champion Elvis Stoico is here. It all starts now on The Social.
You kick off a Monday, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you to a very special guest, but before we do that, this is one of the most geographically representative audiences I think we've had in the history of the show. Not only do we have, yes, 5 provinces represented, 3 American states, welcome Michigan, New York, Maryland, and 3 countries here. Which means you all know who I'm going to introduce because she is known the world over. For the entire hour, Olympic champions Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir are going to be helping us get through this whole entire show with you. So first up, on a rare day off from the Cross Country Thank You Canada Tour, the one and only skating sensation, Tessa Virtue. The world loves you. So we figured how appropriate to start with perhaps a sports story, because how often do you have an Olympic gold medalist on your panel, right? So is it distracting to watch athletes who compete in heavy makeup? No. Just making it clear. Athletes, not television show hosts. So Dutch gymnast Celine van Gerner famously wore a face of cat makeup. This was at the European Championships. You can see it there. This was in August. The music in her routine, it was from the musical Cats, so it makes sense. The International Gymnastics Federation, however, has ruled that face painting, as they're calling that, is not allowed, and any makeup, in their words, must be modest. Modest. I know that word makes us cringe. Does it make you cringe, Tessa?
Well, I have an interesting perspective because my sport is judged as well, and part of my job is telling a story, and that's costuming, makeup, hair, everything that helps me get into character. And whether the judges like that or not is one thing, but it's part of that balance between art and athleticism, and it's what I love so much about it, but there's also a flip side to that. I just don't think that can be mandated, though, or dictated. I don't think anyone else can impose that on a woman and how she presents herself to the world.
As Tessa said, the judging happens and it's difficulty and execution, but also artistry, right? That these teams are judged on. This Dutch team, I did a bit of research. They're known for their choreo. They're known globally. This is what they do. They do interesting choreo. They're not so great at the other things, like tumbling, right? And all the other things. So they go heavy with the choreo.
Are you
so
suggesting that they were trying to add some razzle dazzle?
I'm not even suggesting. I'm saying it.
You're saying it.
I'm just saying it. Like they had to go heavy with the choreo because they're they're going with their strengths, is what I'm saying.
Find that competitive edge however you can, right?
I mean, it's interesting because, like, I think makeup, I totally agree with you. I think that's part of it. It's certainly what, it's part of the thing that interests me in so many sports that have that kind of drama, and they choose the music and the costumes. But I wonder if, like, this is a little bit left of makeup. Like, it's face painting, let's be honest, right? She chose Cats. Why do we keep resurrecting Cats? It's not the greatest musical anyway. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I feel like, is there like a line though that, like, would you be able to take somebody seriously? Because, you know, you could be judging things. I'm sure you have judged things. Is there a line where it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want with your face, but maybe not like a duck face, or maybe not like, you know, or somebody goes, oh, they choose the song Thriller. Would you want to see somebody like on your show who's dressed as a zombie? Is there a certain line that we could just agree upon that it's too much? Do you think?
I mean, wouldn't it be strange if she was doing her routine to Cats and wore just a plain black bodysuit and didn't address the theme? I mean, I don't know how you find that balance, right?
Good point.
All right, fair enough.
But you know what I love about that is that outfit that we saw, it looks like it's Tiger, and everyone thought, oh, maybe it's like the face painting and her leotard. But that, in fact, is the Dutch team's leotard. All she did was add a little extra eyebrow and like a little extra. The entire team, that's their team uniform.
Yeah.
So I was like, so she went a little extra with her eyebrows. I'm like, go for it, girl. Like, that's a team.
You know, so many of us are fans of you and the sport. Like, I've been a lifelong fan of figure skating and gymnastics. And what I have observed as a lifelong fan of these sports is that there's a progression forward. There was an old school, a fusty way of looking at figure skating and gymnastics where they just wanted the athletes to look like ballerinas and really delicate, and they really penalized athletes for being athletic and a different kind of artistic than we were used to seeing. We have an athlete coming on later in the show. His name is Elvis Stoico. And I love him so much to the point where he might be scared later. But anyway, and in his sport, you can attest to this, they used to want the athletes to be like Russian Tchaikovsky dancers and only dance to a certain style. Then Elvis comes along with rock and roll and bandages and like headbands and really hardcore, and he was penalized by the judges over and over again because his version of art was not their version of art. So I'm so over these fusty judges who are like, I don't like these non-ballerinas, and they have to be like this. And I like athletes like this who are pushing the sport forward, because guess what? Art can be interpreted in a million different ways, and sports as artistic too. Okay, so do you care, speaking of looks, do you care how you look when you get engaged? Take a look. Take a look. This photo's being retweeted on Twitter. So this woman, she's newly engaged, she's Australian, she's showing off her engagement ring, right? But here's what's really going on. The hand in the picture actually belongs to her cousin. Apparently the bride-to-be didn't have her nails done and needed a stand-in to get the perfect photo. So,
I get it.
Is this understandable?
I'm gonna tell you something. What's the one question that everybody asks her when they find out she's engaged? Can I see your ring? And so the first thing you do is you go like this, and then you're right away, as a woman, you're cognizant of, oh my gosh, I didn't get my mani done. You know who I blame for this? I blame him. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. He has been saving money probably for months, so he's been planning for months, putting away hard-earned money for months. Then he's planning the flowers for months. Then if you saw, there was a really nice balloon display. That just didn't happen. He was thinking of the balloon. He thought of so many things. She's got a cousin who's willing to give her arm for her. You should have asked the cousin, hey, can you go take her to get her nails done? I'm gonna propose in a couple days.
To be Insta-worthy, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, there wasn't even Instagram when Lloyd proposed to me. That's how long ago it was, okay? But I'm just saying, it was a lovely moment because it was intimate, and it was something that we shared we called our family. We went to visit the family. Why is everybody thinking, oh, it's gotta be Insta? I can't even eat without my nieces taking a picture of me before we eat.
Isn't it
bad luck? Like, isn't it bad luck to have, if you believe in that kind of thing, like to put your engagement ring on somebody else's hand? Isn't that, no one?
Oh, I never even thought of that.
I feel like that's a bit of a weird thing that I wouldn't. What do you think?
If that's the standard, I need a hand double today, even on But I'm a particularly private person, so that's not something that strikes me. I can't imagine in that really personal, intimate moment, as you said, thinking about sharing that with the world. But
Well, I mean, there was no Instagram when I got engaged, but I mean, if there was, it would have been everywhere. Sorry. That's just me. Hair and makeup. Just me. Okay, Tessa, you're not going very, very far, but we are going to do a quick swap out because a little bit later, not only are you coming back, but coming up next, your partner in crime, Scott Moir, joins us. We'll be back.
Tomorrow on the...
Welcome back, everybody. When we make promises on this show, we always deliver. Taking over now as our fifth chair, world champion figure skater, Scott Moir.
Your opinion about this story. So get this, Victoria Beckham and David Beckham have reportedly built their son Romeo a $50,000 grass tennis court, okay? So according to the Daily Mail, they want to turn him into the David Beckham of the tennis world. So what do you think? Is it okay for parents to have such a specific career aspiration for their kids? Like, did your parents be like, you are going to be
Love it. I got my answer for me already.
Okay, right.
Well, I want to know what Romeo has to say. That's what I want to know. But like, if you're the David Beckham of tennis, you're still like out of the top 10, so you're not quite in there yet. Right. Tennis is a very specific sport.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. If the kid's into it, I mean, I guess you have to support them. And
did your parents do anything?
I mean, Posh Spice has got the resources
Yes,
for
she
that.
does. Yes, she does.
She worked hard for them. If she wants to build her child a grass court, get it, girl.
You make a good point, Scott, because not all of us have, the money that the Beckhams have. Yeah. I'll tell you, just a couple of months ago, my daughter Blaze, I said to her, she's been dancing since she was 3 years old, and she's going into high school now. Oh, and I said to Blaze, I said, do you want to dance professionally? If this is a passion that you have and you want to do this as a life choice, I'm with you. If not, let's go a different direction. So she took some time to think about it, right? Because she's been dancing for all these years. And she came back and she said, you know what, no. And I said, okay, Blaze, you know what? She said, it's good enough to do some recreational classes now and again. She had been going to dance 3 times a week since she was 3, competing, doing the whole thing, and she left it and is now just doing a recreational thing. And it's the lessons that I'm trying to teach that less maybe is more. Make room for the stuff that really matters. Make time for the stuff that matters.
Yeah. Well, there are 1,000 different routes to take as well.
There are 1,000 different
academics.
It's funny that you brought up Romeo, and you said, I want to know what Romeo thinks. And I would like to know what Romeo thinks, because I think all of us, if you're a parent, of course you want to facilitate your kids' dreams in whatever way that means. But then the question is, if you've got these 2 parents who are like on top, or were on top of their games, whether you're thinking Spice Girls or Victoria as a designer, David Beckham as a soccer star, like that, they've overcome a lot to get to the top of their respective industries, right? So the question I have is, would they be okay with their son if he was just average? Right. Like, the question is, if we all think our kids are going to be the next Sidney Crosbys or Scott, Scott Moyers, and, it's one thing to think, to push them that direction, and it's another thing to be like, do you enjoy it? And if you like it, do it for that. But to do it because you have the expectation that you will be the number one, like, maybe your kid's average, and maybe that's okay.
That's great.
I don't know. Listen, I think in the Beckham example, Romeo Beckham, if he was going to be a top tennis player, he would have been winning tournaments already. Sorry, Romeo. Like, he's 16. He's 16 years old. By 16, you have to be on the circuit. Sorry, like, that's just it. But it's weird how we're judging this story in comparison to other very famous child athlete stories we've seen before. Tiger Woods was on TV when he was 2 years old, hitting golf balls. Then he was again on TV at 5 years old. He's very, very young there. And of course, we all know what happened to Tiger Woods, and we all know the story about his father pushing him to get into golf. Like, his father was like, here's my prodigy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure, and Tiger lived up to that pressure and continues to, you could say.
I think he saw something in him, though, because like I can tell you that my son
I'm not
Jaya
sure.
will never be a basketball star. I've seen that child, and no matter how
I'm not
much
sure. How do you see something
Maybe-
at 2 years old?
I don't
and
know.
I just think it's a different spin. Like, here in Canada especially, the equivalent story to the tennis story is there is a very, very beloved famous hockey player whose father built him an ice rink. Do you know his name? His name is Wayne Gretzky, okay? And you know, to your point, not everybody has the money to build a tennis court. Not everybody has the land to build an ice rink. Some kids live in condos who play hockey. What are those parents gonna do? Where are they gonna build an ice rink?
Well, but the thing
I'm
is
not
that-
trying to dump on the Gretzkys. I'm just saying in every situation, there is an argument you can make with like, oh, I don't have the parents to build me a tennis court. I don't have the parents to build me an ice
We
rink.
also had Curtis Joseph on this show a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, so famous goalie. His family had, like he shared very openly, they had next to nothing. So I think that this idea of like, if you build this amazing facility for your child and you pummel them with all these, you know, instructions, then they will become a success story. I don't know if that's necessarily
I think
true.
shouldn't you try? Like, shouldn't you try?
I'll give you the last word here.
No, I think it's more about the athlete. I mean, the Brazilian track team, they train on a dirt track. I mean, and they compete against the Americans with the best education and the best sports science, and they do pretty well. Usain Bolt is okay. It's pretty fast. So it's not all about, I mean, Tessa and I, our favorite training setting is a grubby hockey rink that we can find, our first one we ever skated in. So it's more about if that fire is inside of you, you can have the best grass court.
Okay.
Last word and great word.
Boom! I love the
Scott.
social.
Okay.
There.
A bit of a funny story, depending on how you take it. Is it okay to moan in a fitness class? This is a topic that is up for debate on Reddit after someone shared a story about a man moaning so loudly it sounded more like pleasure than pain. So this is the question that I ask. Is it okay to do this?
Do you make noises?
This is the one I do not want the last word on. I'm okay not having the last word on this.
Noises at all? Like,
I just don't think it's necessary.
Tell that, have you been around athletes who
I
make
know.
noise?
Yes.
Okay.
And I am, and Tessa probably is back there laughing at me because I make, like, we talk in noises, like whoosh, like go. And more times than not, I'll explain what I'm thinking about in a noise, but we try not to. I mean, it's just common courtesy,
it might interest you to know.
especially in a public place.
I feel like it
right?
might interest you to know that I feel like someone on our panel was once, I think, asked to leave a gym for making too many noises.
Serious?
Share that quickly?
Oh.
What do you have to say for yourself? Listen, if that gets you through that rep, then grunt.
Yeah, there's something to that.
You know
if
what I'm
that's your
saying?
space and you're in your own thing.
Don't encourage her. Don't encourage her.
No.
Okay, everyone, do not go anywhere. There is so much more of Tessa and Scott together after the break.
After the break, Tessa and Scott chat about their plans for the future and just how their 20-year relationship works.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, it is the Tessa and Scott takeover here on The Social. Now, in case you need a recap, they've been skating together for 21 years. They're the most decorated figure skaters in Olympic history, and they're about to get inducted onto Canada's Walk of Fame.
It's no surprise that they've captivated the world and they've taken over The Social today. So welcome back, Tessa and Scott.
We're so happy that you're here. Everybody else is as well. But the last time that you were here together, you had just won Olympic gold again, I might add. Now you're on the Thank You Canada tour, which is amazing. And you get to actually thank your fans face to face. And I have to say, Tessa and Scott, many athletes don't get the chance to do that. So tell us a little bit about that and what it means to you to be able to say thank you.
We are so fortunate as figure skaters to have that, to be able to perform in these exhibitions, these showcases, and come together with a cast of people that we've really grown up with. We've shared so many special memories with our fellow skaters. And when we were flying home from the Olympic Games, we thought, okay, how do we give back? How can we possibly say thank you to all of those Canadians, coast to coast, who have contributed to the success of our career and who have supported us in such a special way. So this is the best we can do for now, and we're really enjoying it. It's so nice to get into those intimate venues and really connect and feel that special bond with our fans.
Okay, so you said before that this tour was a good distraction from thinking about doing another Olympics. So do you still need that distraction, or have you started thinking about whether or not you are going to stop skating competitively?
I think we need to catch our breath a little bit before we can make that decision. There's not going to be another Olympic Games that go by where we don't wish that we could march in the opening ceremony, be with our teammates, and be competing. But the reality is we just can't do that forever. And Pyeongchang probably feels like the right note to leave it on. Maybe cash our chips in while we're ahead. But we're not in that competitive headspace anymore. We're in this entertainment headspace, and we're really falling in love with it. We love going out as a team with our castmates, the 9 of us, and entertaining thousands instead of just trying to please the 9 judges. And that's a big relief for us. And I think it gives us an opportunity as well to, as Tessa talked about, reach out and interact with the fans and really get to thank them for the years of loyal support. It's been pretty fantastic to be in our shoes.
So maybe you've already sort of answered this, but what, in your sport, you retiring, it's like everyone's so young to like retire. And so there's a whole lot of life left ahead of you. So have you thought about what life after competitive skating, maybe even after the tour, might look like?
You mentioned the word distraction, and I'm not sure we see this tour as that, but it's been a great outlet for us to sort of fill that void and really invest everything in creating a really special product. And that's sort of the type of people we are. We want to be all in, and taking on the producer role has been really fulfilling. I love learning about the business side of things, and having that creative control as well, I think, feeds a certain part of our souls that maybe we had been neglecting.
It's obvious to anyone who's ever watched the two of you on the ice that you have this incredible bond, and I want to read something that you've actually said about that bond. You said, we've worked really hard on communication, done a lot of counseling and therapy, worked with a sports psychologist to be at our best together and communicate effectively and efficiently. I mean, that is basically the type of bond that any relationship would strive for. But do you think like this would be a good recommendation, a good approach that you would recommend for any romantic couple or non-romantic couple to entertain?
Yeah, it's a great question, and that's what we always try. When we get asked about being a couple, that's what we always steer towards, because we're very proud of our relationship and our friendship, but also our business relationship over 21 years. I mean, we've been together since 7 and 9, and I mean, there's a lot of stages of life that you have to go through, adolescents, young adults, the pressures of competing at a home Olympics, and then kind of being in the spotlight and trying to get back to that Olympic gold, kind of doing that all together while going through a whole bunch of personal stuff. You need to work on your relationship. And we found comfort in a bunch of different professionals. For me personally, I really react well to working with people who are trained in that field, obviously. And I don't think I'll go, like the rest of my life, I will see, and I don't know if it's called counseling, but I'll see my psychologist and work through any personal relationship, but it's still something that we have to work on. So I think I will probably use it in my marriage when that happens one day.
Love that. Yes.
So here's something you probably never expected. Both of you are nominated for a People's Choice Award for most hype-worthy Canadian. And you're up against Drake, Ryan Reynolds, Sandra Oh, and Shawn Mendes. You guys are competitive. We've seen this. So who out of those 4 do you want to beat the most?
I'm just happy we beat Bieber on the list. Because he's from Stratford and I'm from like Gilderton, so it's close. I don't know. I just can't believe we're on that list.
I can't.
Look at Ice Dance is taking over.
I mean,
Just to be.
it's so strange to be on that list, but
I mean, here we are in the 6.
we're very thankful. Yeah.
We won't make you answer that question. We won't put you on the spot. What we will do, though, is that as much as we enjoy the two of you competing together, skating together, it's about time to put a rift right down the middle of the two of you. So why don't we actually, this could be the thing. We're going to play a game that actually pits the two of you against one another in a little
Perfect.
game.
Perfect.
It's a little game we like to call...
Perfect Tens with Scott and Tessa.
Quickly, each of you, there's three rounds. In each of these, you're going to each have 10 seconds on the clock to name as many things in the category that we give you.
Boy.
And there's going to be a clock on there, okay? Are you ready? Scott, you're going to be going up first.
Okay.
10 seconds.
ready,
on
Scott?
the clock.
Ready?
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Name as many figure skating movies as you can in 10 seconds. Go.
Okay, Blades of Glory, The Cutting Edge 2. Was there a Cutting Edge 3? I don't know. Oh boy, Ice Princess, because Tessa was in it. No. What is it? Something like Golden Girls. No, Golden Girls. I used to watch Golden Girls with my grandma. It's not it. What was the one that you're in?
I'm not supposed to be encouraging you, but I was
right.
like, good job, okay.
Okay,
so how many
I think that
there?
was like 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
Tessa has 3.
10 seconds, all right.
3. Okay, you
Okay.
gotta beat 3. Okay, so Tessa, name as many figure skaters as you can in 10 seconds. Go!
Elvis Stoico, Patrick Chan, Caitlin Osmond, Caitlin Weaver, Andrew Poshire, Eric Radford, Megan Duhamel, Brian Orser, Tracy Wilson, Rob McCall, Shoni Rochette.
Tessa wins.
It was close.
Tessa won round 1, but you know what? There's a round 2. Scott, ready?
Yes.
Okay, name as many famous duos as you can in 10 seconds.
Okay. Fred and Ginger, Brangelina. That's a weird one. Oh gosh, I'm freaking out. Virtue Moir, Davis White. I'm just gonna do ice dancers. Turtle Dean. Oh, that's all I got.
That's good.
Brangelina.
Tessa, you gotta beat 5, Tessa. No pressure.
how do you go from
Okay, we know
French?
that Scott is a hockey fan. A hockey fan, the two of you, but we can think you can handle this. So name as many hockey legends as you can in 10 seconds. Go.
Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Joe Sakic, Sidney Crosby, Haley Wickenheiser, Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux, Maurice Richard.
And no Leafs. She's a Leafs fan and no Leafs.
Okay, Tessa is in the lead right now, but this is going to be double or nothing. Get ready for this. Okay, so we know you guys love to skate it to a good ballad, so get ready for this. Name as many power ballads as you can.
Is this me or you?
Who's going for this? This doesn't say. Who is
Scott.
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 In 10 seconds.
Oh,
Go.
no. Okay, Meatloaf.
Wait, power ballads.
Song name.
No, I'm going. I'm just getting there.
Okay.
Meatloaf is the band. It's an 80s
Yeah.
band. Oh, you wasted. That's a 0. So do we have to do the last one?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So Tessa, all you have to do is beat 1. This is for the game. Name as many Canadian pop stars as you can, Tessa, in 10 seconds. Go.
Okay. Nelly Furtado,
darn.
Serena Ryder.
You won.
Okay.
That was a good game for me.
This is what we've learned. You're probably better together.
I don't feel good
Probably
about
better
this.
together.
I don't feel good
Do
about
not
this,
forget, Tessa and Scott are nominated for a People's Choice Award airing Sunday, November 11th, 9 p.m. Eastern on E! And if you want to see them at the Thank You Canada Tour, go to our website for ticket information. They are both sticking around. Don't go anywhere.
Up next with Tessa and Scott, the Olympians show off their signature workout moves.
Welcome back to the show. The Tessa and Scott takeover continues on the social, and I think we all want to know, certainly I want to know, how do Olympic gold medalists stay in such beautiful shape? Okay, they're touring, we know they're touring all the time. It's not always easy to stick to a regular routine.
Mel, it takes creativity to figure out when and where to work out, and so back to show us their go-to exercises on the road, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir. Okay, so as Mel mentioned, you are traveling the country, you're touring, you're in tour buses, hotels. It must be hard to find the time to work out. How do you?
It is hard, and it's just such a shift for us because before the Olympics, every moment of our time was accounted for. It was so structured, and we had that strict training plan. Now it's sort of all out the window. So you said we had to be creative. That's exactly it. We have to kind of make it work in hotel rooms, buses, arenas.
Always.
Yeah, a lot of body weight stuff.
Body weight
and some
stuff.
discipline, some extra discipline.
Okay, I'm writing notes all here. I also want to know diet regimen because same deal. You're on the move, you're on the road. It's not like, you know, you can also stay exactly to your diet. So what does that look like? Are you eating every 2 hours? I mean, give me every detail.
It's definitely changed. It's trickier now that we are on the road, but luckily on the bus we can make sure we have healthy snacks so you don't get the cravings. And we just eat what we like to feel good before we skate. So before we skate, not such a problem. Post-show, usually we have a treat or two. So we gotta have the balance in there.
But our second dinner is kind of around 1 a.m. now after the
Yeah,
show, so you
quite
never
strange.
feel like a salad after midnight.
No.
Never.
No. There's a strict no salad rule on our
Right.
bus.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
So you're going to take us through some of your exercises that you do when you're on the road, and no matter where you are, you get to these. So first up, we're going to do something called a jumping split squat into skater lunges.
Right?
Okay, Mel and I are gonna go into the back.
We're gonna go back
Okay,
up dancing spot right about
This
here.
is
Okay.
tease.
All right, so when I'm on the road, I like to do sort of a 40-second on, 20-second off interval training thing, and I can
Let's just
alternate.
shorten that a little bit for today's
Okay,
sake.
all right. So, skating is all about strong lower body, very stable core,
Okay.
but fluid upper body. So your regular jumping split squats, and then just add
Regular.
in some creative arms.
Oh,
Pretty. And then that's fun. Right into your skater lunge.
All right.
Which is just all
Okay.
do we still do the floaty wings?
If you want.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
Nice.
I feel these in my glutes.
Yeah.
That's your
How-
launching pad. That's
Right
exactly what
there.
you want.
Talk to us about the importance of glute strength in your sport.
Well, we live in this position, right? We're always squatting, and then we just have the finish of our extension. So it's incredibly important.
Pretty much any time we have an explosive movement, whether it's a jump or a lift, it comes from
there.
us just standing up out of our hips. So power comes from your glutes.
Okay, so that's a lot of cardio stuff. Do you
Yeah.
guys put weight training into your routine?
Sometimes I do a lot of Pilates
Lot
to
of
get that
Pilates.
length in my lines, but a lot of body weight stuff.
Yeah, we do. Like, I'm lifting a little bit more, so there's a bit more weight lifting off the ice, but not a ton.
Not a ton. You
Not a
see how-
ton.
He just brought it
It's
back,
more like,
everybody.
honestly, everything that we do is all about, I don't know, form. If you
Form.
don't do it in the right way, it's not worth it. So.
Okay, so let's continue on with our workout, shall we? You're gonna show us, Scott, your favorite push-ups.
Oh yes. This
Okay.
one is fun because it works on your beach muscles and your core.
Okay, let's
So-
do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So you start in a push-up position. This one's a fun one. And a nice push-up without dipping your hips. And then you roll up on your left arm.
Oh.
And then you drive the leg in a nice bridge.
Oh.
And then you come back. Hips and shoulders at the same time. There you go.
Oh, I like
We
that
just
a
do about
lot.
12 of those.
How many?
Usually about 12.
Are two okay?
Two's good for today.
Okay, okay.
I just did one on each side. Tessa, though, you have a push-up too that you want to show us.
Oh,
I
that's-
do.
that's
It's
good
a
one.
dolphin.
Yeah, sort of a swimming motion. So
Okay.
What's it
find
called, this
yourself
one?
to downward dog. Maybe dolphin. I call it a dolphin push-up. I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know if I can do this one.
And bend your elbows, try and touch your nose to the mat, and inch your way along the mat to up dog.
You're supposed
And
to do
then
it
back.
with control, right? Because I just collapsed.
Oh,
yeah.
Find your way.
Oh
in.
my
There you
gosh,
go.
this is a
You can
great
Really
stretch.
feel it in your
Yeah, it is
triceps.
nice.
Oh my gosh, this is
It
awesome.
hits everything, right?
I'm putting that in my
Guys,
morning
I'm
routine.
moaning at the gym. Oh my gosh.
I'm so shy. Slowly moving away.
Okay, so this is where we say, what's your recovery? We need recovery.
I'm recovering.
What does,
Take a second.
Let's
what
talk
does
about
recovery
recovery.
look like for you on the road? Do you build in some rest time, downtime?
We have to really emphasize our warm-ups and cool-downs, which is a little bit tricky. as we're racing in and out of the shows. I try and elevate my legs as much as I can, get some magnesium, hydrate. Small things, but they really make a big difference.
For me, the most important thing is making sure I have like a protein shake afterwards, so it helps your body rebuild and recover, and water. It's so underrated. You gotta drink a ton of water.
Okay, I also think that you need balls in a good workout. And by that, I mean our medicine balls. Our medicine balls. What happened to recovery? I was having a good time recovering. So let's move on. We finished recovering. You love these Russian twists.
So this is kind of nice to have a partner when you work out, and we don't often get to work out together anymore, but we might have to work.
Sometimes it's fun to get it going, you know?
All right.
We talked about how hard it is to get to the gym.
You need that motivation.
You'll notice ours says 10 and yours says 8.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That was this one.
So you're gonna find yourself in sort of that tabletop position.
Okay.
Do a little Russian twist and then pass the ball to your partner.
There you go, friend.
Oh,
yeah, we gotta work.
Work on that.
Work on it.
Okay. Well, this is fun.
Yeah.
Is it? Nice.
And then
You could say things like, go team.
Go team.
eventually you could
Recovery.
move.
Recovery.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
No,
And also,
Scott, really quickly, you actually have one more exercise to show us. It's your favorite
oh,
exercise.
this is my favorite one.
I thought the
Okay.
last one was your favorite.
Okay, what is this?
Did I say that
How are
already?
we
They're all
doing?
my favorite.
Okay.
This one is like the best functional one because everyone does so much weight at the gym and they're all about squats and dude, it's a leg day, whatever. This one is just an easy body weight, single leg, and it's just kind of like a drop squat and hold. And you hold for 3 seconds,
So you sort of
then you
catch
pop
yourself.
all the way up, making sure you're not dipping your back.
Woo, balance,
Just drop
right?
down, hold. See, I can't even do it.
We're
Back
gonna
up.
keep one-legged squatting. We're gonna put all of these exercises up on our website after the show because we want everyone to look like Scott and Tessa. Who wouldn't want to? Elvis Stoico is next. That's a good one.
Welcome back to The Social. No, your TV is not broken. Tessa and I are taking a break from the Thank You Canada tour and taking over this show.
It's true. We really like it here, but it's not all about us. We get to work with many talented figure skaters, and joining us next is someone we like to call the pillar of our tour. Please welcome 2-time Olympic medalist, 3-time world champion, and 7-time national champion, Elvis Stoico.
Welcome to The Social. Nice to meet you.
Okay, Elvis, I am a super fan, so do you mind if I get a little closer? Tessa, move. Okay, I have so many questions. So let's first talk about your routines from the 90s and the early 2000s. We
Yep.
all remember they were so strong and rock and roll and hardcore and so different from what we were seeing at the time from other competitors. Do you think that you helped move the sport forward?
I think so. I just sort of did it my own way, and everyone's saying, oh, he's being macho, he's doing this, he's doing that, and I was just being myself. I just wanted to do something different because everything was so similar.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what, I want to skate to this type of music, I want to skate with this outfit, I want to add martial arts to it because that's in my heart, it's in my soul, it's who I am, and it just sort of developed from there.
Just one more question for me. Sorry to dominate your time, but you can still do the jumps that you were doing when you were competing in, like, you know, the world championships. Like, you can still do a triple Lutz and a double axel and a triple toe. Look at this triple Lutz right here. Whoa, 1, 2, 3, and go. How do you stay in such great shape? What is your routine?
As you get older, bodies change, and you have to really think about recovery. You were talking about protein powders and things like that. I have to watch diet, training, when not to train, how long I can train, and then allowing myself to recover to recover fast.
Wow.
I don't recover as fast. So it's all these things, but every few years the body changes and you have to keep up with it. You have to listen to your body.
Can I get in there with a question, Lainey?
Sorry.
I'm the love question here. So you are married to Gladys Orozco, who's also a figure skater as well, and you say that you are the proud parents of 3 hairy daughters, you say.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
They have their own Instagram account.
Of course they do.
My wife set it up, the Hairy Healer Trio, and they're all 3 of them are rescues from Mexico when we lived there. My wife being Mexican, they have a huge problem with stray dogs everywhere. So my wife was helping out with the shelters, and I joined in, and I love animals, and
There it is.
they came back to Canada with us. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Your entire group on tour obviously spends a lot of time together.
Yes.
You have rehearsals and then time on the road and performances. So you must have a pretty special bond. I'm wondering, do you have any sort of ritual that you do together maybe before you perform? You're smiling.
Yeah, well, yeah, I could.
Be
well,
careful.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just before we go out, when the show's starting, we have what's called goodies, and we have a little moment. Everyone has a moment with every other person. I have a little moment with Scott and Tessa, and they have a moment. Everyone has their goodies, and then we all get together and do our thing. What's really cool is we didn't really plan for it. I skate just before Scott and Tessa, and we actually have a moment where we kind of do a little bonding thing where I just finished skating, and Tessa will come out, and we'll talk a little bit. How'd you feel? Because every show is different. Every audience is different. And there's these different experiences. So I'll share what I felt out there. And if they're a little bit nervous, I just go out and try to help them ground. And we do a little martial art little signal. Just the 3 of us behind the curtain. And they go out and skate. And it's like my kids going out doing their thing.
We do get nervous.
And I have to say, when I was able to co-host with you, you have a little ritual you do before coming onto the show, and I adopted that for our cast, and we do something very similar, which we just adore and love, and it makes us feel supported and empowered as we take the ice together.
We're with you guys on the road. Listen, I wish we had way more time, but this is our opportunity to say, on behalf of us and the entire country and everybody watching, Elvis, Tessa, Scott, thank you all. Thank you all for being here. So this is where I remind you, you can catch all of them along with many more Canadian figure skating stars in the CTV special, Thank You Canada. It's airing Sunday, December 2nd, 8 p.m. right here on CTV. Did you have fun today? All right, everybody. Great Canadians continue on this show tomorrow. Canada's first female Prime Minister, the Honourable Kim Campbell, joins us. See you then, everybody.